Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Tyler. Today I'm watching a game between Tyrant Riut here in blue, playing as Huns, and Nab's MBL40C here also as Huns in yellow. Just to get a quick look at the maps before we get going here, we can see this is Riut's side. He's got gold on the front, berries to the side, a very awkward open side over here for him with his secondary gold and his primary stone. Also a pretty open front for him. His secondary stone is on the front and some gold over here. All in all, not a very good map for Riut. Meanwhile, if we look at Nab's MBL40C, as I'll call M, you can see he has his gold here sort of on the back corner. Secondary stone to the side, secondary gold on the front, berries on the front, and stone to the side. And all in all, not as bad as Riut's map. It looks like he has a decent ability to wall this up, and definitely an ability to protect this gold. So we'll see how it goes from here. Let's elevate the pace a little bit and walk through. Okay, so this is a set of 5 games that these guys played. I'm actually going to stream 2 of them. This one I thought was the most interesting, and then another game that they played as Byzantines is also a pretty good match. So I'll stream that and post that up a little bit later. But for now, we're here today playing as Huns. We can see Riut here just luring in his boar. Pretty normal feudal Dark Age for him, 3 on wood. Meanwhile, if we look over on M side, he has 4 on wood. We might expect a drush from him. It doesn't look like he's taken the gold for that yet, but we might see that in just a moment. Yep, still hasn't taken that gold. So we'll speed things up here just for a second. Both players luring in their boars. And you'll have to take my word for it that neither player loses very much in the early part. If we put on Fog of War, we can see M is here scouting on Riut's side. Riut's over scouting M. He's found his wood line, which is actually quite far from his TC. So that would be a good place to harass him. And you can see Riut here just getting a view of this entire map. M here building a barracks. He's got the palisades up to defend his villager, and it looks like he's ready to get his drush going. Riut, as you saw, is down 50 gold, so his villagers will be on loom, so they'll be ready for that drush. Here's M grabbing that gold at 7 minutes. Pretty good timing. That barracks will be up in just a second, and we'll see a drush. So let's speed up until that time comes. In the meanwhile, we can see militia being created here from M, and again, no drush coming from Riut. And you can see M as well. While he's here, he might as well wall off the front. And then just another wall off here to protect that wood line. A couple more walls here, and he should be all set, at least with that side. And let's watch this drush come forward. Okay, so 3 militia drush, pretty standard. Dark Age for him. Presumably Riut's already up to feudal. He is halfway up. We can see M here coming across the map. He has scouted, let's look real quick. He's scouted out the gold and this wood line, and he's going to head straight for the wood. Let's see if he can get a villager here on this. Okay, so the militia coming in, the scout fighting downhill, that villager's down. That's Riut minus 1 villager. Pretty successful drush so far. These guys still have a lot of HP. We can see him come in for a second dip. Numbers were good, but looks like M decided to retreat off of that. Meanwhile, M is up to feudal, and we're going to see scouts from Riut coming in any moment. Here we have M still trying to harass and get one of these villagers. Doesn't look like he's going to. This guy's pretty low, but I don't know if he'll get in there. He does. He gets a second villager. Okay. So M getting 2 villagers with his drush, and doing quite a bit of damage to that scout as well. So a really good drush. Meanwhile, we'll see that militia get taken out, and we'll see Riut's scouts come forward. If we look at the HP on those, they're not very high. Actually, both very low. There's a 3rd scout here and a 4th here coming in. And when they get to M, they're going to find that he's pretty walled off. Looks like they're heading directly straight toward his TC here, which will have a spearman waiting there for them. You can see they're just prodding around trying to find a way in. This is actually a pretty interesting part of the game for Riut. You can see he sneaks those scouts in without taking any arrow fire at all, which is really impressive. And he's just going to harass the gold. be chased around here by M with a spear and 2 scouts. Because 2 of those were on such low HP, they're going to go down pretty quickly, and it doesn't look like he's going to get very much harassment in. Meanwhile, we can see M putting up a building scouts of his own out of his stable and putting up an archery range, putting a gate up on the front, and just chasing these scouts in a circle for Riut. So it doesn't look like Riut's going to get a lot done with those scouts, and he is down 2 villagers, which is a major disadvantage for him. Meanwhile, back home, we can see Riut's going up with a second archery range, and he is going to wall off this side as well. Going to have trouble protecting here, but we'll see what he does. And yeah, in the meantime, we can go back, see that these scouts are fully retreating. Both guys moving back to their own base. M's doing it to meet up with more scouts. Those scouts are going to come forward. We can see that Riut here is going to have some archers awaiting them. Looks like about 5 or 6. We can see that M scouts are going to come attack this side. There's not much here to attack, but maybe they can get into the wood line. Although these palisades here will probably stop them. And we see a little bit of a stalemate here. You know, M with a bunch of scouts that really can't do anything on this side of Riut's base. I guess they can get that villager, which they will not do. But just poking in here and trying to harass and be annoying. Slow this down for just a second and look at the clock. We're at 19 minutes, and it looks like we can watch these archers chasing M scouts out. M retreating out with the 5 scouts. Riut on his own side doing nothing. He does have a couple palisades up here so that he can see those villagers mining gold. The game allows it, so I guess it's not illegal. Meanwhile, M here is just trying to poke in and see if he can grab one of these farmers. Let's continue to watch him just for a second, because I think he eventually gets one of these. This guy's on low HP and he's going to go down. So he'll sacrifice a scout and a bunch of HP from those scouts to get another villager. So right now M is +3 villagers. Riut is up to castle. These archers coming forward are going to be crossbowmen very soon. They'll be met by more archers as they come forward, but these will be futile, at least for the moment. If we look at where those archers are, we can see that they're pretty much going to go straight for the corner here, which is a very good place for them to go. The problem is they're going to be met here by a pretty formidable force. So if we move this forward, we just saw M go up to castle. These are now archers. Riut's going to get 1 villager there on the corner. He's going to get that palisade down. Meanwhile, M waiting in the back with his scouts, coming forward with archers of his own, pushing Riut back. Both guys go up with an early university. We can see Riut has his up, and we'll see he may already have ballistics, but we know ballistics will be coming for both players. And we can just see these guys poking and prodding around. Looks like Riut's going to get another 2 villagers, 3 villagers there, and he's now equalized the villager difference. So these archers were well worth it and well placed. They are going to attack that palisade, but it looks like they have overwhelming numbers behind them. So we'll see if they can survive. Looks like those archers are going to clean this whole thing up, and we'll basically start over. M now down 1 villager. Both players in castle age. M on 1 TC. Riut on 1 TC as well. Looks like these villagers are coming to build a second. So he'll have an advantage there in building villagers, but presumably M will have an advantage in building military with his extra resources. We can see M here just throwing away 3-4 scouts on the front. Not a great play from him, but you have to figure out what your opponent's doing in order to beat them. And we can see over here, we've got these archers moving in from M, trying to keep the pressure on. This gold on the front would be a really nice place to hit. 1 villager, 2, 3 down already. Meanwhile, they're going to be pushed back by these cav archers. They'll use the hill advantage to get as much damage as possible, but this group is doomed. And we'll sort of start over again. So now M has taken down 3 villagers, but he probably has very similar total counts because of Riut's extra town center. So right now it's very close in the villager count. Again, M should have a military advantage because he hasn't spent those resources on a second TC. We can still that he's still on 1 TC. He's now on 5 archery ranges. His archers have 6+2 damage and +2 armor. Meanwhile, Riut's have +1. And that's going to be the case for quite some time, and we'll see how it plays out for both guys. We can see Riut here just pushing in, trying to get a villager on this wood line, not quite able to do it. M massing up quite a few archers here, not quite enough maybe yet to take on this group. Now he's confident, he's going to push him back. Meanwhile, back home we can see a 3rd town center up for Riut, and it looks like he's going to be pretty comfortable now taking that gold with his TC very close by. We can see M's big group of cav archers here moving forward. Meanwhile, passing these guys like ships in the night, we're going to see Riut coming forward or going back. Looks like he's going to go back to defend against this. Meanwhile, another villager, 2 villagers down for M, 3 villagers, 4 villagers, so he's catching up with Riut for all of those extra villagers that Riut will be building with these extra TCs. 2 more villagers down there, and he's going to use the hill advantage here again to fight these off. He is still +2 armor versus +1 armor cav archers, so he's going to do more damage than his opponent, but the numbers here are overwhelming. It looks like he's going to lose all of those cav archers on the front. We'll just see how that plays out. Yep, so those guys are down, and meanwhile on this side we've got Riut pushing. He's taken a few villagers down who are trying to take out this town center. Those 4 archers are cleaned up. It looks like that town center will go up, and that will start to equalize the score for M. You know, start to allow him to build villagers at a faster rate and not fall behind his opponent. Meanwhile, M is here on the front, getting another villager, harassing this town center. Riut is not paying attention to that at the moment, and he's going to lose another villager, and that will do it. 2 villagers down there on the front. Meanwhile, more cav archers here from M, pushing in, more villagers here down on the front, and just a lot of really good harassment from M, and he's split his army up into about 2 groups of 10. Plenty of cav archers to take out villagers very quickly, but hard to stop from coming in. It makes sense, his opponent has a bad map. Meanwhile, back home, we can see that M is on 1 TC, 2 TCs, still just 2 TCs, and still building cav archers like crazy out of his now 6 archery ranges. Meanwhile, Riut on 2 archery ranges, 3, 4, 5 archery ranges. He's got some villagers here not doing anything. Really taking a lot of harassment. We can see harassment here on his stone, pushing him back. Harassment here on his farms. M taking some arrow fire there, and we can see Riut has now moved into making skirms, which is not usually a good sign. Works out for Mr. Yo, but not for anybody else usually. We can see more skirms here, pushing these back. M's going to bring his army here together, and meanwhile on the front we'll see a siege workshop go up, protected by some knights. Those will do really well against these mass skirms. If you have a few knights, that is, not one. Meanwhile, M is here, taking out villagers. This town center is fully garrisoned, and he's picking off all the others that are nearby. He's going to get these 3 on stone, and it's starting to look like M is running away with this one. Meanwhile, Riut trying to get some counterattack in, but it looks like M will go up with that TC and protect this gold. And all in all, we will now see 3 TCs from M, and a very safe map for him, and lots of offensive pressure coming in here with Rams. Looks like we have a second siege workshop going up, and let's see what he's building there. Looks like Mangonel out, another one coming. These archers doing some harassment on the front. The knights doing pretty well against the skirmishers here for the moment. And we'll just see if Riut can push this back. If not, I think it's probably time to call it good game. These cav archers are currently not being reinforced by anybody. They're just kind of on their own. 2 villagers here trying to keep that Mangonel alive. Meanwhile, these 3 rams coming forward are going to be very strong against all of these archer units. A couple knights in here for Riut, but he's keeping them safe from all of these cav archers. Tower's going to go up for M. Meanwhile, he's got 2 archer ranges down, and it looks like he's going for the stable. He's got those 3 rams still on pretty high HP, and it looks like he's going to get the barracks as well, and probably move next to the town center. Meanwhile, Riut's here trying to get some stone to put a castle down, but he's getting a lot of harassment here from this mangonel. So pretty big offensive here from M, and meanwhile back home he's just booming up like crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 4 TCs for him. These mangonels still keeping harassment here. All of these villagers working to try to get that castle up. They desperately need to protect this gold and this stone. Meanwhile, a little bit of gold being taken over here by Riut. Rem's moving into the town center to try to take that down. More villagers going down to mangonels and cav archers. Looks like they're not going to get this castle up, at least for now. The mangonels here on the front, dueling it out. 2 mangonels going down for Riut, a couple going down for M, and M just keeping up the pressure here on this front side. Meanwhile, he's taking down that town center, and he's going after this farm. Die, farm, die. Mangonels here, still attacking, still trying to take these villagers out. Look at how many villagers Riut has here working on this, and you can see a huge score disadvantage. That mangonel is safe for the moment under that castle, but when he moves it out, it's dead. So M, now that the castle is up, is going to work on this side. He's going to get some villagers here. It looks like his rams are going to come in for this TC. Meanwhile, he's got enough cav archers here to protect everything that he's trying to do. A couple of hussars here on the front just hacking away at that castle. Probably doesn't have murder holes yet. That town center going down, and these villagers running off for dear life. So I'm going to call it here a good game. I think they go for about another 10 minutes, but Riut just losing so many villagers in every stage of the game. You know, I think he lost 2 to the Drush, and he had a few more in Feudal Age, and then once Castle Age came, he just started losing them 3, 4, 5 at a time, and now he's just totally harassed. Meanwhile, M is over here building up, and he's not going to have any problem. Riut will get to Imperial first, but he just doesn't have enough resource to do anything with that early Imperial time. So that's it for this game. You can see M here finding all of these villagers in the corner. That's it for this game. He's going to put a castle up here to take away this gold and to take away the front of M's base. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the clicks, any comments, any suggestions, and look out for Game 2, which will be between these two guys playing as Byzantines.